Alright guys, Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. If you like this video, I ask that you just like the video, and if you would like to, you may also subscribe to the page. Now, I made a video maybe about 2 or 3 videos back where I was talking about why I don't follow the conscious community, why I'm not a part of the conscious community, and why I show a lot of disdain towards the conscious community. And I just kind of wanted to basically piggyback off of those ideas. And you may engage in dialogue with me on the bottom of the page, okay? But as I go about running my earnings, as I go about running my business, you know, when my business is kind of slow traffic and there isn't a lot of traffic coming through, I usually tune into either some music or I tune into a podcast where I can get some game from. And the thing, or a documentary, you know, Netflix is getting a little bit better at documentaries. So shout outs to them for that. But what I notice is this. These conscious people, or quote unquote conscious people, will try to tell you that, oh, these rappers are, you know, setting a bad example. Oh, these rappers are working for the system. Oh, these rappers are corrupting our youth. Oh, these rappers are doing nothing to empower our youth. And I have to refute those claims 110%. And I'm going to tell you why. AZ said it in his book. If you read his book, I believe his book is called Pieces of a Man. But AZ said that music can serve as a form of education. And I have to agree with him 110%. I have learned a lot through real hip-hop music. There's people who be rapping about some real stuff that makes you go and research like, damn, like what he talking about. I'll give you a perfect example. When I heard Spado's mixtape, his new mixtape called Hall of Fame Flow, and mind you, Spado is considered a street rapper. Spado is considered a rapper who raps about the turf, raps about these things, right? He mentioned someone that I had to look up about. He said something about Jean-Michel Basquiat. And I'm like, who's Jean-Michel, or I should say Michel Basquiat? And then I researched about him. I find out that he is a Haitian Puerto Rican artist who did a lot of works. Some of his works are worth thousands upon thousands of dollars. And I said, wow, this guy had abstract artwork and he was quite talented, you know? And the list goes on of rappers who really put you on game. Okay, of course, you know who I'm gonna say first. You already know. If you've been rocking with my channel, you already know who I'm gonna say first. Nipsey Hussle. All you have to do is listen to the lyrics. I can quote millions of lyrics upon millions of lyrics that he's giving you game. He said one of the lyrics that I resonate with is grind strenuous, cash out continuous, mogul in the making, autonomous black businesses. Things like that resonate with me. When conscious people talk about light codes and talk about your DNA is this, that, and the other, that shit doesn't mean anything to me. Because it's not really making me progress. You have to know yourself, of course. That's important. But I know myself. I'm from a tribe. I'm Fulani. I can speak that shit. To all my Fulanis out there, all my other ones. Njarama, Misalimion. Okay? So it really doesn't do anything for me. Okay? But if a rapper is giving you game, then that does more for me than these would-be woke people. Because the thing is, that rapper started with, usually most of the time these rappers start with nothing. When it comes to these street rappers, when it comes to these rappers, they really don't have much that they're starting with. Most of the time they're starting with a pen. Most of the time they're starting from coming from the turf, flipping bricks or something, if they're authentic, not the fake ones. You know what I mean? Not the ones who just make shit up and that shit never happened. And there's plenty of those rappers, but I don't really listen to those rappers like that. I like authenticity. So I listen to them. And so I'm going to say this too. If you really sit through these podcasts, these rappers are dropping gems upon you about saving your money, about investing your money, about how the system is working, about general life tips that really are very practical but mean a lot. I'm going to give you a perfect example. And it's crazy I listened to this. It's really, really crazy. Because I wasn't expecting this from him. Okay? And as a matter of fact, it's even crazier because it was Valentine's Day. And I wasn't even expecting him to talk about all these things. But I listened to a podcast, shout out to Drink Champs. If you don't tune into Drink Champs, man, y'all need to tune into Drink Champs. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there is at least one guest that you are going to resonate with from Drink Champs. I mean, they have everybody on it. They have Nas, they have Fabulous, they have Raekwon, they have Akon, they have T.I., they have all these people on there. So there's at least one guest that is going to resonate with you. So they have Bun B on there, okay? And Bun B was just giving you game, giving you gems. And one thing that Bun B did that impressed me the most, and I don't really do Valentine's Day, I'm going to be honest with you. And it's not because I'm single, even if I did have a spouse or a woman, I still wouldn't do this holiday because for me, all holidays are pretty much just ways for retailers to cash in. I don't think these holidays have any kind of sentimental value at the end of the day. Sometimes they do because they do bring families together, but that's another video in itself. But anyhow, Bun B was just breaking game down. He was just giving you game, okay? About just practical life things. And I'm like, damn, this nigga is authentic, man. This is a nigga I will kick it with. And I'm gonna tell you why, okay? But anyhow, as I was saying, I was listening to Bun B on the Drink Champs, and that Drink Champs episode must have been almost 3 hours long. Because he was just giving you so much game. And that dude is so chill. He's like very chill. He's like the type of person that you roll up some kush with and you smoke. Or you smoke a stogie with. And he's just going to give you game. Because, I mean, I'll say one thing about all these conscious and woke people that really bothers me and rubs me the wrong way. They don't have any chill, man. None of them are chill. None of them are relaxed. None of them are, they get in their emotions too much and things like that. And, the thing is Bun B says something I can resonate with on that podcast. He said, I don't talk. And although he was talking, giving game on the podcast, outside of it, I'm pretty sure it's just business as usual. He said that when he's with his wife, he's in and he's out of a place, like a bank robbery. And I resonate with that because off of YouTube, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't talk. I just use YouTube as a way of basically as a hobby, as I said before, and just to connect with some like-minded people who maybe in the future we can build something together, something tangible with the intangibles, you know what I mean? And so Bun B, one thing, this is what I take from listening to that podcast with Bun B, how important it is to have a solid woman behind you. It seemed like after every single response that he gave, he was like, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife. And I'm like, damn, man. It flies in the face of what what they would like you to think about a lot of rappers, because here's another jewel that he dropped. Do you know that they wanted Bun B to be on Love and Hip Hop with his wife? But he declined. He said, nah. What he was alluding to is that it wouldn't be organic. And the thing is about Bun B is that his wife, at first, he was about to drop a full album. He said, you know what, I gotta let people know that I'm back like I never left. But his wife said, listen, you got a lot of music. Try dropping an EP first, and then you can drop the album. So you can tell that he really values his wife's opinion and things like that. You can tell it's a partnership, basically. He even said that he's not even his wife's favorite rapper. Come on now, man. When I see examples like that, I'm like, yeah, that's it right there. That's what I need. I need that type of thing that he got going on with his wife. That type of partnership. I said, definitely. This is an example of how to do it. And so when I hear stories and see stories like this, I'm like, yeah, that guy. I really am very, very pleased to have tapped in. And then, you know what happens when these real individuals spit game and give you some gems? You know what happens? They basically make you want to go back through their catalogs of music and look for more gems there. Look for more coded messages in the music. Because there's many coded messages in the music. If you listen to guys like AZ, if you listen to guys like Scarface, if you listen to guys like Bun B, if you even listen to guys like Jay-Z, they got messages in their music. You just gotta listen to the music, not hear the music, and then decode those messages on what they're trying to say. And those messages are life things. Even a guy like Ab Liva, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm going to tell you a story. I was always a fan of Major Figures. And for those of y'all who don't know, Major Figures is a Philadelphia-based group. Most of the members, basically all of the members of Major Figures, they came from North Philadelphia, North Philly. Erie Ave. EA all day. And I had the privilege of being in Philly for a little while, and I met Ab Liva. And I told him, yo, I really get down with your music, bro. You be saying some stuff in the music. You be talking the language, you know. And he even said in one magazine, he said this in a magazine before. I think it was XXL. He's like, we're some of the fortunate people who can speak the language, you know. And he told me, he's like, I'm glad you understand the language. And there was one line, there were two lines in the mixtape that I had to break down what he was saying. Okay? And this is when I'm fresh off the boat. This is when I have my heavy accent. This is when I have basically not really a understanding of how things work here. Okay, mind you, I'm what they call a fob. Okay, fresh off the boat. Because there's many Africans like myself too who came here when they were quite young, and then, you know, they have barely know a word of English, and then eventually they learn English, and basically you become you absorb what the environment is, basically, right? And so I'm telling you, I kid you not, there were two lines in Ab Live. It was a freestyle that he did off of or they may have wrote to it. They may have basically, it wasn't just off the top of the dome. I think they wrote to this track, but the track I remember specifically, it was off the Gilly the Kid Appetizer Part 5 mixtape. And it was off the Shine More or Less beat. In that verse, he said, mentors handy, like their Sandy Koufax, South America's son, I'm bringing that blow back. So I asked him about that verse, and I'm like, are you serious, my dude? Like, you were on that? You were on that crap? And so that led me to just read tons and tons of books of how this country came to be, and how, most importantly, Miami came to be, right? Because for those of you guys who don't know, you can say, honestly, and I guess that's why it appeals to me so much, that Miami was an extension of South America back in the 80s, because you had an influx of South Americans going to Miami because of one thing: nose candy. And all those high rises you see in Miami, all that real estate, what Miami is today is a result of all that drug money coming into that country, or that state, because that's where it came from first. That was the transit point. The docks had the bricks. The bricks got distributed in the tri-state area. By the time they reached Los Angeles, it became free base, and the rest is history, you know? And so those two lines led me to a lot of research, you know? And even it kind of made me go back to my boxing because Ab Liva said another line. He said, swagger unrivaled, on what Cassius Clay be on. And I already knew that Muhammad Ali was always always swagged out. You know, he always had that charisma, always had that slick talk. And I had to go back and watch some of his classic fights, some of his classic interviews to get more game. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. If you really listen to certain rap music, it will spark something. It will make you research. It will make you get on your shit. You know, one of the conversations that me and Nip had when he was alive, he told me this. Real talk. I'm telling you, real talk. He said, you know why I bring you around and stuff like that? He said, number one, you from the turf, but you don't carry yourself looking for drama. Number two, the taste you have in music. Because he told me that once his moms and his pops got divorced, right? His pops was always around, but you know, his pops was a weekend dad. You know what I mean? That's usually how it works when you're divorced. Usually the dad comes and gets the kids on the weekend and they spend time with each other, you know? But he told me that guys like Scarface, guys like Jigga, guys like Master P, he said those dudes raised him. And he didn't mean in a sense of like a father like, but kind of like in a mentor sense, right? So that's what I'm saying. When you really digest these guys and what they're saying, they put you on game, bro, more than any conscious nigga will. And I stand by that. I will stand by that. I will absolutely hold that line. And then also, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a fan. I'm a fashion fan. Although you really rarely catch me go out to places because usually people just don't know how to act in most places. But I am a fashion guy, and some vintage hip hop dudes, some real hip hop dudes will put you on some grassroots fashion that never came out yet that have black owners. So it's like, bet. You know, there's this one fashion line that I started dealing with because Ricky Rose put me on it, basically. And that's Fichette. And Fichette is a street brand, and it's so ill, it doesn't even have a website where you can order stuff. You got to go to Dude, or Dude has a pop-up, and he'll give you what you want, you know? So I already bought some stuff from him. And I said, okay, I got to support a brother, you know? That's just what it came down to. You know, that's how I roll. If you're black and you have a fashion line and it's grassroots, sign me up. That's it. And that's and that's one thing I have against conscious dudes. They talk about black businesses and black ownership, but they really aren't about that shit 9 times out of 10. And that's just what I observed. And then you have some conscious dudes who say, you know, F black businesses. You have some that are on that wave. And so I guess you can say I'm just a vintage dude in a young body. Mind you, I'm still young. I'm in my 20s. Okay? But it's just looking at these guys, looking at the Raekwons, looking at the AZs, looking at the Nips, looking at the Scarfaces, looking at the Bum B's, looking at the Styles P's and the Jada Kisses, looking at how they move. It's just, they're gonna give you some game. Hell, even with Styles P, when you listen to his stuff, he gives you game. The project that him and Talib Kweli did gives you game. Listen to it. It's called 7. He said one line that really got me. He said something about ancestors, and that really got me. I'm like, yeah, he knows what's up. He's the real woke nigga. And you know he's woke because he put his money where his mouth is. He has a juice bar. He has a juice. Yeah. I think he has more than one juice bar. I resonate with that more. He's trying to get you on some healthy tip. Because guess what? It's sincere. That's why it's succeeding. It's sincere. Whereas most of these, I would say 99.9% of these quote unquote woke niggas aren't sincere at all. They're just doing it to be seen. They're just doing it for ego boost. That's why my circle of influence comes from real hip hop guys. The revolutionaries like Thomas Sankara, Amilcar Cabral, Sheikh Anta Diop, EPLF, PAIGC, New Jewel Movement, Maurice Bishop. I can go on and on and on. And also, you know, I'm going to be real. Being from the turf, coming to South Central LA as a young guy and being absorbed into gang culture, I got a lot of game from young guys and OGs alike, man. Some OGs are not washed up. Some OGs are gonna put you on game and tell you like, listen man, I don't want you, I know you wild right now and that's just the youth of you, but I don't want you to go on this mission, or I don't want you to do this because I see potential in you. You got to get back to something constructive, bro. They'll tell you. Some, if they like you, really care about you, they'll tell you. And many OGs sat me down and said that to me. They're like, yo man, like I understand you trying to do for the turf, but like you got to sit down, bro. You got to really sit down. You from, they're like, you from a different country and you just got sucked up into this because it's like society, because of the environment you living in. And so they just really put me on things. And then what that taught me is about integrity, honor, and respect. Like you got to stand by what you stand on. You know, you can't change up. You can't just decide to change up. You know what I mean? And that's what that taught me. You know, that really gave me game about how you have to have integrity and how you have to hold your line down no matter what. And you know, sometimes the line may be wrong, but that energy that you held down the line with can be used for something more constructive, and then you just hold down the line on that. You know, that's some of the like game I got from being in that life. You feel me? And that's what taught me that energy can be channeled towards something better. You feel me? Than something self-destructive. And at this point, I really personally, I'm not trying to be mean, I just really believe that like conscious people are self-destructive, bro. And that they don't do nothing for like black people. They just continue the self-destruction of black people. That's what I truly believe. And there's no disrespect to the followers of these people because they're like cult followings. And I'm not saying there ain't a cult following for hip hop, because some people You know, they take the hip hop, they take the love in hip hop and things like that, and and that's what they take in. But me, I take in something different. You feel me? That's just it. And me personally, I don't want to take part in the self-destruction of people. I really don't. And I'm just gonna be real, man. Hip hop influences everywhere in the world, especially in Africa, bro. I kid you not. Back home, Senegal, back home in Cabo Verde, back home in Guinea-Bissau, you got all kinds of rapping going on, bro. Just telling our story. And the rapping is done as also a form of protest. And that's why I think I resonate with this so much. You know what I mean? So this is why, like, I look at hip hop, I look at real street dudes as more conscious than you know, than these so-called woke niggas. And I'm not saying that, as I said before, so my point is this: guys like Guy Fisher, guys like, who else besides Guy Fisher? Because Guy Fisher, I really resonated with him because he kept it solid and he didn't snitch. You know, guys like Nicky Barnes, they snitched. Guys like Frank Lucas, they snitched. So I can't like really resonate with them. But guys like Rich Porter and Guy Fisher, I resonate with because of their entrepreneurial spirit and because they saw something and they capitalized off of it. Now, I'm not saying I resonate with them destroying their community, but at the same time, you have to understand they built up their community with the proceeds from their illegal activity. And I'm not saying, and I'm not suggesting going into flipping bricks. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm just saying that the energy was there to start up and become enterprising in order to do something that's never really been done before. I mean, Guy Fisher bought the Apollo, dude. Come on now. Guy Fisher used to own the Apollo. And so when I listen to these stories and stuff like that, you learn so many moral lessons that you just carry. And sometimes those lessons are reminders, you know? I want to say that sometimes hip hop has esoteric things in it. You listen to Raekwon, he rap about Mecca, Medina, and all that stuff. I'm telling you. A lot of rappers on that esoteric stuff. But the problem is, what these conscious or so quote unquote woke people will say is that you're listening to garbage and things like that, but it's because they don't listen to music. They just hear the music. They just hear what's on the radio and they don't dig in deep with other artists and things like that, man. And that's just what it is. Because if you listen to some of these guys like the Scarfaces, the Bumbies, the Talib Kweli's, the Black Thoughts, and those people, they're giving you game. Nipsey even told me, and I don't know if they ever did the record together, but maybe I should try to reach out to Black Thought. But Nipsey told me him and Black Thought were supposed to get in the studio together. They were supposed to do something together. I don't know if they did it or not, but that was the play. That was the play that was supposed to happen. That play was actually in the works. And I would have been like, oh shit, that's gonna be some heat. I'm like, Nipsey and Black Thought? I'm like, say no more. I'm like, when you told me that, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for it, bro. Run that. You know, because Black Thought, he's one of my favorite MCs of all time. He be giving game. He be giving a lot of stuff. when it comes to Philly, he's a legend. Nobody can mess with no Black Thought when it comes to rap. That dude is something special. I'm telling you. So at the end of the day, what I'm getting at is that I rather listen to a rap song. I rather listen to an interview. I rather read a book than listen to these quote unquote woke Negroes. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'd rather listen to a lecture from a guy like Thomas Sankara, from a guy like Malcolm X, from a guy like that, than listen to them. Cause they don't say shit. I'm sorry to say it, but these conscious niggas don't say shit. And if they want to come to this page and want smoke, then bring it. I don't give a shit. You know, it's like for example, like light codes. Like what does that mean? What is that gonna do to better the situation? Like another example, you don't have a body. We are everything. Everything is a full reflection of you. I created you. You create. Like, what the hell is this? What is this shit? Does this add any like economic progression, political progression, or anything like that? No. So I'm just gonna end this video by saying that I hope I gave y'all my reasons why I rather listen to hip-hop artists than quote-unquote woke niggas. And I can do another video about the other side of the coin, where you have these new corny-ass rappers who will do anything and everything to get some notoriety, including things like basically selling their soul. I can get into that because I know that that's a part of the music industry too. But for the most part, I know the solid dudes didn't do that shit and didn't go through no rituals or anything. I'm talking about the solid ones, not the new corny ass niggas. But anyhow, man, leave your thoughts and leave your comments about this video. I know it was kind of a long-winded one, but I'm very passionate about this stuff, man. I as I said before, I'm a fan of hip hop, man. I'm a fan of good music altogether. Not just hip hop, but I like good music. And the majority of good music does come from some hip hop. But that's all my point, you know. Fula signing out. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Njarama. Another thing I want to say too, I know I'm going long-winded with this, but I was reading in the book, and this is a good book you got to read. It's called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. Very heavy book. But what was said in the book by the author, that is, in order to have mastery of your environment, you have to have knowledge of your environment. So that means in all faces of it. You know, you have to have knowledge of the law in the environment. You have to have knowledge of, you know, what's going on in the environment and things of that nature. So, you know, these light codes and, you know, you don't have a body and, you know, you got to go back to nature and things like that, and you got to eat holistic, organic and things like that. That's not really going to get you, that's not going to get you mastery of your environment. Learning about how things work here is going to get you that. And that way you can do for yourself. And that's another thing that Bun B said that I will resonate with. In order to do for other people, you have to do for yourself first. Okay? And so if you yourself are not in a situation where you can really do or help other people, then and you're trying to preach and do all this other stuff, then I mean, good luck with that, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Njara. All right, one more thing. I know I keep on saying one more thing. It's like that, you know, that cartoon. I don't know if y'all ever watched it, but it's like that cartoon that Jackie Chan had, and that old guy in the cartoon, he will always say, and one more thing. But yeah, the last thing I want to say about the whole conscious community and stuff like that, the thing that I really don't, I just really don't see what this proves or anything is when they debate each other. When they go on these lives and they debate each other, like I'm right, you're wrong, this, that, and the other. Does that help anything? Does that really inspire anybody to, like, say, start a business, or inspire anybody to learn a new skill, or inspire someone to actually follow the passion that they already have and that is calling them to actually do what it is that they need to do? Seriously, answer me that, man. But hopefully this is the last thing I add to the video. Fula signing out.
Have a good night, man.
Njara.